track 3, Fly Up. The same principle applies for the sidechain following the drums throughout each and one of the sections. We've got an A section, B, A, B. Then we've got a C, which would be more like a breakdown. And once again the B to end up with the section C. In terms of drums, we've got a drum group with a couple snares and hats. Then we've got a kick group. This time we separated them. And we once again have the realistic drums, which come from Drum Lab, and the 3 kicks. This is what they sound like. And all together with the rest of the drum group. So this is for the breakdown part. So each section has its own drum pattern, and even in the alternating same section, for example, the first B section, the drum pattern has a certain amount of elements playing, and the rhythm of the same instruments or elements playing may vary in the second part of the section. Now we have our main piano, which carries along for most part the main melody of the track, and it evolves in terms of melody throughout the song. Then we've got another piano which follows as a layer. It creates a counter melody and evolves also throughout the playing of the song. And it's also the main piano for the breakdown. We've got some brass as layers and giving a little bit more richness to the track.
We stop, keep working it out.
Okay, so that was a mistake, excuse me. Now we have the pads, which play throughout the entire track, giving a little bit more of richness to the mix, and it follows the main piano. It's a sweet, sweet pad. I EQ'd it in a way where I set a notch. If I'm not mistaken, this is like 3K and 6K, because there's a little piano and the guitar, and the piano, the one that follows the main piano, will have a little boost here just to give each instrument or each element its own space in the mix. And this is the guitar, it's just a backing guitar. There's nothing too serious going on with it. In terms of our bass group, we've got a sub bass and a regular bass. This is the sub. And the bass is basically just the top. No, there is no sub here in this section, but you can listen to it. It still has a little bit of the high end added to it. It's distorted with a sausage fattener. It's a little bit compressed, and it's got a limiter on, so that when I'm playing with the piano and I go down an octave, the perceived loudness will maintain itself throughout the track. And we've got another pad that plays in different sections of the song. This one has a lot of mid richness to it. It's got a lot of reverb and delay on it. It's got a little bit of distortion, but the main crunchiness is obtained with sawtooth and square waves, if I'm not mistaken, for the main oscillators of the plugin. I think that one's I think this is a preset, you know, the first preset of the Synthmaster plugin. I'm not sure, but I think it is. Then we've got the vocals. This is what the vocals sound like after they have been processed.
Fly up to the sky, so high, it's my time. Fly up to the sky, it's my time to live a life. Time's up.
Now these vocals have been processed a lot. We've got an EQ, rolling off the low ones, boosting highs. We've got a little bit of compression. The de-esser. Now in this one I added 3 different de-essers just because I wanted to try and actually see which one of the plugins would benefit me the most. And then we've got a Saturn, which is basically a distortion, a vintage plate, which is a reverb, liquid delays, obviously a delay. Then we've got a regular compressor just to get the sound right in our faces when we've got the final mix playing. We've got a vintage exciter which warms up the vocals, and a vocal writer to maintain the volume of all the takes throughout the entire track. And the final mix down sounds like this.
Fly up to the sky, so high, it's my time. Fly up to the sky, it's my.
Now the master chain is basically the same, only I didn't use an EQ to roll off the low end. But we've got a little bit of compression, some multi-band compressor for this track. I actually only used an equalizer, an imager, and a maximizer. And that's it for track 3, Fly Up.